Tonight, I've got a cozy story waiting for you. Let's settle in, slow down, and drift off to sleep together. You're safe here. You're cared for, and this time is all yours. Now, let's step into the evening rain to Bella's cozy coffee shop and enter the quiet night that's waiting for us. The rain had started early that morning, soft and steady, tapping against windows and pooling in the cracks of the cobblestone streets. It wasn't the kind of rain that made people rush. It was the kind that slowed everything down. It made the town quieter and softer, as if the whole world had taken a deep breath and decided to rest for a while. Gracie stepped out of her little cottage with her umbrella in hand, the cool air brushing her cheeks. The world smelled of rain-soaked earth and distant chimney smoke, and the puddles mirrored the sleepy lanterns that still glowed in the early morning light. She knew exactly where she wanted to go. On days like this, there was nowhere better than Bella's bakery. The bakery sat at the end of the lane, its windows glowing warmly despite the gray sky. Even in the rain, the little sign above the door swayed gently, painted with blue flowers and flower-dusted rolling pins. Inside, Bella was already awake, as she always was. She'd been up since before dawn, kneading dough, shaping loaves, and humming softly to herself in the quiet. Bella had loved baking her whole life. As a little girl, she would sit on the counter while her grandmother worked at an old wooden table, shaping bread and pastries for the whole family. She remembered the way the kitchen would smell, yeast rising in bowls under linen towels, warm vanilla drifting from sugar cookies cooling on racks, and the faint spice of cinnamon rolls waiting to be baked. When her grandmother passed, Bella kept her old recipe book, its pages torn, stained with years of use. Now, these recipes lived on in Bella's bakery. Her favorite thing to make, the thing she never grew tired of, was cinnamon rolls. She loved the process, rolling out the soft dough, brushing it with melted butter, sprinkling cinnamon and brown sugar until it looked like sand dunes in the desert, and finally, that satisfying swirl as she rolled it all together. Watching people take the first bite, seeing their eyes close with happiness, that was why she did it. When Gracie opened the bakery door that morning, the familiar bell chimed overhead, and the warmth from inside kissed her cold cheeks. The air smelled of sugar and butter and something sweet she couldn't quite name. And it immediately made her heart settle. "Gracie," Bella called from behind the counter. Her voice carried that familiar, cheerful tone that made everyone feel welcome. Her apron was dusted in flour, her hair pulled back in a loose braid. Her cheeks were rosy from standing near the ovens. "Perfect timing. I saved something special for you." Gracie laughed as she closed her umbrella and shook the rain off. "You always say that." "That's because it's always true," Bella replied with a wink. She slid a little paper bag across the counter, tied neatly with twine. Inside was a cinnamon roll still warm from the oven, the icing just beginning to melt into its soft golden swirls. Gracie took her usual seat near the window, the perfect spot to watch the rain sliding down the glass in silvery streaks. She unwrapped her cinnamon roll slowly, letting the smell alone comfort her before taking the first soft, sweet bite. It was perfect, just like always. Bella returned with a steaming cup of tea, placing it gently in front of her. As Gracie ate, the bakery slowly began to fill with life. The bell above the door jingled as townspeople stepped in, shaking the rain from their coats. There was Mr. Holloway, an elderly man with a crooked hat, who always ordered 2 loaves of sourdough, one for himself and one for the birds at the fountain. Then came Elsie, the florist, with her arms full of daisies she just picked from her greenhouse, leaving a small bouquet on Bella's counter, like she always did. 2 little children pressed their noses to the bakery window, giggling at the rows of pastries dusted with powdered sugar that sparkled like snow. Bella spotted them, brought out 2 tiny cookies wrapped in napkins, handing them over with a conspiratorial wink. Their faces lit up instantly. Gracie felt her heart swell as she watched it all. There was something magical about Bella's bakery. Not in a loud, obvious way, but in the quiet way that made you feel like you belonged there. It was a place where people slowed down, where neighbors smiled at one another, and where kindness felt as abundant as the smell of fresh bread. Time slipped by gently as Gracie lingered in her corner, watching the rain outside blur the edges of the world. The soft hum of conversation, the clinking of cups, the rhythmic sound of Bella working in the back felt like music. When Gracie finally stood to leave, Bella handed her another little paper bag. This one, warm and smelling of chocolate. "For later," she said, her smile as bright as the morning light that now filtered through the clouds. Gracie stepped out into the damp, cool air, the rain still falling in soft, silvery streams. She pulled her umbrella open, took a deep breath, her chest feeling lighter than it had in days. And as she walked down the cobblestone street, she thought about how rare it was to find a place that felt like this. A place that felt like home the moment you stepped inside. She knew she'd be back tomorrow, and the next day after that. Because some places and some people make you feel like you've been found, And Bella's Bakery would always be one of those places.